All right. Now we're doing freeCodeCamp, JavaScript algorithms, data structures beta, build a cash register project. All right. So here we're going to build a cash register app that will return change to the customer based on the price of the item, the amount of the cash provided by the customer, and the amount of cash in the cash drawer. So we're also going to need to show different messages to the user in different scenarios, such as when the customer provides too little cash or when the cash drawer does not have enough to issue the correct change. All right. So in the script.js file, we've been provided with the price in CID, whatever we want to call it, variables. The price variable is the price of the item, and the CID variable is the cash in drawer, which is a 2D array listing the available currency in the cash drawer. All right, so let's look at that. So yeah, we got the price and the CID right here. All right, so let's go back over here. The other variables we're going to need to add, the other variable we will need to add is the cash variable, which is the amount of cash provided by the customer for the item, which is provided via the input element on the page. All right. So if we'd like to test our application with different values for price and CID, we're going to make sure to declare them with the let keyword so that they can be reassigned by our tests, by the tests, I should say. The application should show different messages depending on the price of the item, the amount of cash provided by the customer, and the amount of cash in the drawer. So we'll have something like this: status with a colon, space, insufficient funds with a underscore between insufficient and funds. If the cash in drawer is less than the change due, or if we cannot return the exact change. So like if they need $20 in change and we only have $19 in the drawer, we got to do something like this. So we've also got status closed if the cash in drawer is equal to the change due. We also have status open if the cash in drawer is greater than the change due, and we can return change with the change due in coins and bills sorted in highest to lowest order. All right. So we've got these currency units from pennies to $100 bills, and then pennies are $0.1. $100 bills are $100, as we know. And then we've got the objective is going to be to build an app that's functionally similar to this right here. So same thing like this. Purchase. Oh, let's put 20 bucks in there. How about that? Purchase it. Okay, so we're going to get a 10, a 5, a 1, 2 quarters, 2 dimes, and 4 pennies. All right. Awesome. So let's get rid of this. We'll come back over here, and here are the user stories. Okay. So we're going to need to have an input element with the ID of cash, a div, and a button element as well. Right. So for these ones, what we're going to do is we're going to start off by grabbing our boilerplate from the text editor. So we'll come over here, open up, we'll start a new file, and then we will, let's do a text file, and we'll select the language. We'll do HTML like this, all right? So for this one, we're going to put, we're going to push the, what is that thing called? The exclamation point. We'll go to this emit abbreviation, click it, and we've got the boilerplate right here. Let's do a Control-A, Control-C, and then we'll come over here to this one, and we will drop it off thusly, right? So now we've got this going on. So we're going to have an input, a div, and a button, right? So let's start with the input element. We'll have input, and inside here, we're going to give it the ID of cash. So ID equals cash, all right? Then we're going to do the div and close div, and we're going to give it the ID of change due. So ID equals change hyphen due. All right. We'll take this, copy it, drop it off, change the divs to button, right here, button, and then change the change due to purchase button. So purchase BTN like that. All right. So now we want to access the script.js at the end of this body. So we'll come down here and we'll open up a script tag, close it with the script tag, script, and then we'll give it the source, the src equals, and then we'll say dot slash, what was it, script.js, like that. All right. So now we've got that going on. So as we can see, our button's a little tiny. So let's put some words in there. Let's put sale like that, right? So now we've got a sale button going on like that. All right, great. So we're done with the HTML. Let's come over here to the script.js. And now we're going to have to access these IDs. So we'll come down here and we'll start off with the cache, and we'll say const cache equals document.get element by ID, and that's going to be cache, the cache ID. Let's cap that off with a semicolon. Come down here and we'll do const. Actually, let's take this and drop it off 2 times, right? Take this 1, 2. We'll change this cache. The second one, we're going to call it change. Yeah, sure. Change is good. All right, great. And we'll change this to change do, change hyphen do. All right. And then we'll change this last one. Instead of like purchase, we'll call it sale like that, so it's easier on us. And we'll say purchase hyphen BTN, right? So now we've got all 3 of these. Let's come down here, and now we're going to have to make an array with these in it. All right. Luckily, we have this one right here, so we can just change this one to reflect this one. Right. So let's grab from 12 all the way up to the end of 1. Copy that, and we'll drop it off here on 18. Let's bring it back. We should have dropped it on 17. Whatever. All right. So let's change this name to something like currency units, like that, units, like that. And they're basically all there. So let's just change this $1 1 cent to 0.1 cent, 0.1. All right, let's change this to 0.5. This will be 0.1, 0.25. We'll change this 90 to 1. That's a lot of ones to be in a cash register. We'll change this 55 to 5. We'll change this 10, this 20 to 10. This 60 will turn into 20. And this 100 will keep it just like that, right? So now we've got this currency units thing right here. Yeah, I think they're all right. 0.1. Okay, great. All right, so now we can start with the event listener. So we're going to put an event listener on this button. So let's say sale.add event listener. All right, we'll have it be a click event. And then we will do the empty callback function right here. There's that, and then we'll do that like that. So let's cap this off with a semicolon, and then let's drop it down like this. All right. So first thing we should do is we should remember that anytime we throw anything in here, like 20, 187, or whatever, you're gone. Or any of these, we know that inputs always return strings. We learned that a while ago, right? So we're going to have to turn that into a number. So let's say const cache value equals, and we'll do, what was it? Cache dot value. All right. And then we'll wrap this up in parentheses. And we'll do a parse float on it, right? If we don't remember what parse float is, let's open it up over here. Parse float JavaScript, boom, right there. So the parse float function parses a string argument and returns a floating point number, right? So the parse, the usual parse, parse int will take away the floating point, everything after the decimal, but parse float keeps everything after the decimal, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do parse float right here. Parse float thusly, okay? Cap that off with a semicolon. Now let's do another thing. We're going to do change do, okay? So like, let's say it's 187, 19.5, and we'll put 20 in here, right? The change that's going to be due is going to be 50 cents. Okay, so we'll say const change due equals, and we'll say cash value minus what was it? Price, right? So we're subtracting this from whatever is the cash value. So 20 bucks minus 19.5, 50 cents, okay? So now we got something like that. So after that, we're gonna take care of some edge cases, all right? So we can see right here, when the value in the cash element is less than price, an alert should appear, customer does not have enough money to purchase the item. That's a lot of words for cash register, but we gotta do it anyway. So we're gonna say if, what is it? If cash value is less than price. So if cash value is less than price, what we're going to do here is we're going to send an alert out. Alert. And we'll say customer does not have enough money to purchase the item. We all know that cash registers don't say that. It'll say sale or no sale. And also, you just say, nope, you don't have enough money, but I don't know, maybe it's a computer, whatever. So yeah, we've got that right there. Let's test it out by saying, how much is in here? Too much? Let's put, no, they want, it's 19.5. Let's do 18 bucks. Sale. Customer does not have enough money to purchase the item. Awesome. All right. So now that we've got that one, let's take care of the next one. Also, let's return this because after this, we're done with it, all right? So we're going to say return like that, okay? So now we're going to do another edge case. We'll say if, and then for this one, if the cash value is equal to the price, the value, pardon me, if cash is equal to change due, the element should be no change due, customer paid with exact cash, okay? So we'll say if cash value, is that what it is? If cash value triple equals price, what we're going to do is we're going to say change dot inner text, because this is the change is the little div that's going to go between these two things. And we'll say that now equals the string no change due hyphen space, and then we'll say customer paid in, with exact cash. All right. So let's put in here 19.5 sale. Boom. So we got that one. So now that we got those taken care of, now we can do something to get actual change. Okay. So let's do something. So yeah, we're going to get outside. We're going to go outside of this event listener right now, and we're going to actually make a couple of functions to take care of it. One to get the change, and one to format it like this. Okay, so it needs to be formatted like this as well. So we're going to start with the get change function. We'll say const get change equals, and what we're going to put in there as parameters are change due and SID. And remember, these parameters are local scope. That's why this thing isn't changing colors, because even though we're going to be passing in this, right now this is just a parameter. Same with this SID right here. It's not actually this. We're going to pass this in when we do the function call, just to let you know. All right. So what we're going to do now is first we have to take care of the business where, what is it? Where if, like, where is it? Like, we're going to do the insufficient funds thing if we don't have enough money here to take care of the change, okay? So the first thing we need to do is we need to add up all of these values right here. And to do that, we're going to use the reduce method. So we'll come down here and we'll say let total SID, so total cash and drawer, equal, and then we're going to do sid.reduce. And remember, this sid is this sid, okay? And we're going to pass in later this sid, okay? But this sid is not this sid right now, but it will be later. Hopefully you, okay. I know you know what's going on, right? So let's do this. So the, what's up? Let's go over here and open up the reduce method while we're at it. Reduce method, just in case you forgot. Remember, we're going to have a callback function, and the callback function is going to have an accumulator, a current value, and we're not going to bother with the index or the array, right? So the accumulator and the current value. So the accumulator we're going to call sum, right? And then for the current value, since we're going through an array with arrays, we're going to have to deal with an array. So the current value is going to be an array, and we're not going to be dealing with the names or the names of these denominations. We're just going to be using the values. So for the name part of the array, we'll just have this right here, underscore, because we're not going to use it. And then we're going to have comma. And then after that, we'll say something like amount like that, right? So this is these things, and amount are these, right? So it's going to go through this. It'll say 101 plus 205 plus 3.1, and it'll just be ignoring all of these, right? So that's what that is. Let's do the arrow, and then we're going to say sum plus amount, like that. Let's drag this back a little bit, give us some room, all right? And also, remember, we're going to need an initial value as well, just in case. So we'll have the initial value be comma 0 like this. And that should take care of it. Let's come down here. Let's do a console.log total sid. Console.log total sid. And let's run get change. Let's say get change. And we'll say the change due, we'll say 0.5. How about that? 0.5. And we'll put sid in there as the sid. All right. And let's do, why didn't it work? Oh yeah, we're doing console. That's not cool. 335, is that how much it is? Oh, look. Since it's this, we're going to have to do a parse, not a parse, a to fix 2 on this thing. So let's do a to fix 2 while we're at it. To fixed 2. All right, so $335.41. So 100 plus 60 plus 20 plus 55 plus 90. Yeah, that's probably what that equals to. 25, 35, 41. Yeah, okay. So all these equal $335. That's a lot of money to be in a cash register. You're gonna get robbed, bro. Anyway, whatever. Not our big deal. Not our problem. But we do know that to fixed. Let's come over here. To fixed always returns a string. So we're gonna have to parse float this thing while we're at it. So let's wrap this reduce method right here in a set of parentheses, and let's put a parse float in front of it. Parse float like that. And now we've got this, and we know it's a string. Let's put a type of. Type of. We know it's a number, pardon me. It was a string, now it's a number. All right, great. So let's get this out of here. Let's, we don't need to bother with this right now. Okay, so now that we've got this taken care of, what we're gonna do is we're gonna check if this is less than the change due. And if it is, we're gonna do the insufficient funds thing. We're gonna do this insufficient funds thing right here. So we're gonna say down here, where's the end of this? I'm gonna put here end of get change. Get change. Let's put a comment out. Get change end. Or end of. Let's put end of. End of get change. Boom. So now we know that's the end of this function. So we don't need to go looking for which curly brace is the end of this thing. Okay, so now we know. Boom. So now let's do that little if statement. We'll say if if total SID, so if this thing that we just made is less than change due, so this right here, what we're going to do is say return an object, right? And this is going to be the little thing we're going to format in the formatting, what is it? In the formatting function that we're going to do after this. We're going to format it like this. We're going to have an object, and we'll say status as the first property, and we'll give it, this one specifically, we'll give it insufficient fund, insufficient underscore funds, all right? And then we'll have comma, and for the second property, we're going to do a change property, and the change property is going to be accepting an array, because as we see right down here, where is it? Like we're going to see status open 20 colon 60, 10 colon 20. For this, we're going to put arrays like these inside of it. Okay, so that's what that is. But we are not going to do it right now, but we'll do it later when we're actually calculating change. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's do this. Let's do a console.log. Let's do a console.log get change. Let's wrap this up in parentheses. Console.log get change SID, and let's put instead of 0.5, let's put how much was it? Like 300. Let's put 400 bucks in there. Insufficient funds change thing, so we know that this one works right there. All right, great. Let's comment this out for now. Boom. Come on now. Boom. There we go. All right. So now that we've got this taken care of, let's back it up a little more. All right. let's move it over this way a little bit. Okay, great. All right. So now that we've got this part taken care of, what we're going to do is do the for loop to loop through this thing. We're going to loop through this thing backwards so that we can check if the change due is less than these numbers right here. No, excuse me. If these numbers are less than the change due. Okay. So yeah, let's do that. So what we're going to do first, let's drop this down to 1, 2 like that. We're going to declare a couple of variables. So we see that we're going to need a change array. All right. So we'll say let change array equal an empty array like this. Okay. And then we're also going to be manipulating this change due up here. So we'll say let excuse me, we're going to be manipulating this change due right here, but we don't want to actually mess with the parameter itself. So we'll just say let remaining change equal change due. All right. So now we've got something that we can manipulate right here. All right. So now that we've got that, let's drop it down to more. And we're going to do a for loop, and we're going to iterate through this thing backwards, okay? So first we'll say for, let I equal, okay? So since we're starting at this one right here, we're going to have to say currency units dot length. But as we remember, currency units dot length is going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But this last one is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So index 8. So we're going to have to do currency units dot length minus 1. So we're going to start on this one right here, this array right here. So we're going to let I equal that, and we're going to say, well, I is greater than or equal to 0. All right. So while it's greater than or equal to this one right here, which is at index 0, what we're going to do is say I minus minus. So we'll do I minus minus. And we're iterating through it backwards. All right. So it's going to start at 8. Then I minus minus will give it 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then it's finished. All right. It's not going to go to -1. All right. So now that we've got this for loop set up, pardon me, we're going to need to you guessed it or not, we'll see. I'll say you guessed it. Why not? It's funnier. You guessed it. Declare some more variables. All right. So we'll say let unit equal. All right. So now we're going to get these names right here. So we're going to start off with 100 and then 20 and then 5 for each iteration of the for loop. So we'll say let unit equal currency units at I. All right. So it's going to start at 8 and then keep going down at 0. All right. So it's always going to hit this one, which is at index 0 of this array. And then, so this is index I, which is 8 at 0, no matter what. So that's going to be the unit variable. Then we're going to say let unit value equal, and then we'll get this one right here, this currency units at I at 0. We'll drop this off and we'll change this 0 to a 1. So now it's going to access 100, then 20, then 10, then 5, then 1, then whatever, right? So now that we've got that, we also want to access these values, which is however much money is in the till, okay? So we're going to, since this and this are incredibly similar, it's just that the values at index 1 are all different. What we're going to do is say SID instead of currency unit right here. So let's just take this right here, drop it, change it from unit value to unit in drawer. All right. Drawer and till is the same thing in America. All right. Till. All right. With one L. No, excuse me, with two L's. A till equals drawer. All right. So I'm going to say that sometimes just to let you know. All right. So instead of currency units right here, we're just going to say CID. So right there. So cash in drawer like that. So now we've got those all covered. So let's start up with a if statement. Okay. So we're going to do an if statement to see if the unit value, all right, this thing right here, is less than or equal to the remaining change. All right. So right now, we've got 50 cents. Where's this? Let's go here. Right now, we've got $0.5. Yeah. So right now, when we've got 19.5 and we put a 20 in there, we're going to have 50 cents as the change due, right? Of course. So if 50 cents is greater than this, we're going to do something, okay? So we'll come down here and we'll make an if statement inside of the for loop. We'll say if unit value is less than or equal to remaining change, right? Since we're going to be manipulating this thing. Maybe I should put it right here. 0.5. We remember it's 0.5 cents. Anyway, so if this is the case, or we're going to have to do, pardon me, we'll do an and, there's actually units in the drawer. So unit in drawer is greater than or equal to, no, excuse me, greater than 0. All right. So if this is the case, so if this value is less than remaining change, so if this is less than 50 cents, which it's not, and then so it'll go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. Okay, we found one. All right. And there's actually money in the drawer. So we're going to look at this and say, okay, so there's $4.25 worth of quarters in there. All right. If that's the case, what we're going to do is first declare a variable. We're going to say let amount from unit, all right, equals 0. So this is going to be the actual change that we give back. So we're going to first give them back a quarter, and then we're going to give them back another quarter, and then we're going to pretty much be done, okay? So that's what's going on here. This is going to be the actual change we give them. So now we're going to do a while loop to say while there's still money in the remaining change variable, while this is greater than 0, we're going to keep adding to the amount from unit, okay? So we'll say while remaining change, I hate typing remaining. while remaining change is greater than or equal to unit value. So let's get unit value. And there's still money in the drawer. So let's get this while we're at it. There's still that denomination in the drawer. What we're going to do, pardon me, is we're going to say remaining change, remaining change. And we could do okay, first things first. We're going to subtract from the remaining change 1 unit value, okay? But the thing is, if you remember when we were doing, like, just earlier when we did the total SID and we saw 0.00 or point crazy stuff, right? Hold on. Why is this? Oh, yeah. We saw point a lot. So sometimes there's going to be issues with adding and subtracting stuff in JavaScript. So instead of just minus equals, we're going to do minus. We're going to say remaining change now equals remaining. Hold on. Remaining change minus unit value. We're going to wrap this up in parentheses. And we're going to do a toFixed2 on dot toFixed2. Like that, right? And we don't need to do a parse int because when we're subtracting, whenever we're subtracting from like when we're subtracting number strings from like numbers from number strings, it knows it's a math equation. It's only when we're adding that we have to do the parse int, like up here, the parse float or parse int, because you know when we add strings to other strings, it's concatenation. So this one knows that it's doing a math problem to a string, but if we were doing addition, we would have to do a parse float. And it's just a thing to remember for later. So now we've got this remaining change equaling that. We're also going to do the unit in drawer. Unit in drawer. Now this one we can do minus equals unit value. Because the unit in drawer, it's always going to be, this unit in the drawer is always going to be a denomination of whatever the value is. And also, we're not going crazy like saying add 0.1 to 0.5 to 0.1 to 0.01 or 0.25. We're not going crazy and saying a bunch of different ones. It's just one thing, okay? That's another thing to remember about the minus equals, when to use toFixed2 and when not to, right? So now we're going to do amount from unit plus equals unit value, right? Since amount from unit is 0 and it's basically just like multiplying the same unit over and over, we also don't have to do the toFixed on this one, right? Just to let you know. So now the while loop is pretty much done there. So let's get out of the while loop and we're going to do another if statement down here. So if there's actually stuff in the unit, right, instead of it being 0, what we're going to do is we're going to say if amount from unit is greater than 0, what we're going to do here is we're going to say change array. So we're going to push into the change array dot push. And what we're going to push is an array, because we're doing arrays inside of arrays here. And we're going to put inside the array unit and amount from unit, right? So we're going to push the name like this, like 20, and the amount from the unit like 1 right here, okay? Or 0.1 or whatever, okay? So that's what we're doing here. And then we can change, we're going to change this up later in this function, okay? So let's do that. So let's find the end of the for loop while we're at it. All right, I should have done this in the first place. End of for loop. All right, so now we know where the end of the for loop is. Should have did that first, but whatever. So now that we're done with the for loop, we're going to take care of these situations right here. So if, let's drag this over a little bit so we can read it easier. So if we've got the status insufficient funds, we're going to do this one. Also, if status closed, we're going to do this one. And if status open, we're going to do that one, right? So we'll come down here and we'll say if, well, come on now. If remaining change, let me grab this, come on. If remaining change is greater than 0, as in we didn't have the denominations in here to actually make the change. Like if it was like $80 worth of, not even that, this is perfect. But if we had, if it was a situation like that, we would say, what would we do? We would say, hold on, let's do this. We would say return. We're going to do a return statement, and we'll make something like this right here. So let's grab this. Actually, we'll do exactly this. We'll grab this and we'll return that. Okay. So so if remaining change is greater than 0, we're going to have to do the insufficient funds thing. Okay. So now let's do another one. If the change due equals the exact same amount as what's in the till. So if change due equals total SID. Let me look at total SID. So yeah, we did a parse float on that. Okay. So if change due triple equals total SID. Come on. Triple equals total SID. What we're going to do here is we'll do, let's do a return statement like this. Copy that. And instead of the insufficient funds, we're going to do the closed, right? We're going to do closed, and we're going to give them all the cash in the drawer. So we'll say closed, and the change is going to be the cash and drawer array, the CID array, like that. So now we've taken care of this one, and we've taken care of this one. Now we're going to, since those two are done, we're going to do what's left, which is just give them regular change. So now we're going to just say return, and we'll get this thing right here. Return this, we'll change close to open. And what we're going to give them is the change array. So whatever we pushed, everything that we pushed inside of this change array right here. So we'll say change array thusly, right? So now that's pretty much the end of the get change function, right? So now we can do down here. Actually, let's see if we can get a console.log. Get change 0.5. Okay, look, check it out. So it works actually. So now we're going to have status open, change, quarter, whatever. How much was in this thing in the first place? How much was in the till in the first place? I forgot the number. What would it be? Total SID. Let's find out what total SID is and then put that in there. Total SID. Come on. Come on. All right, I forgot. Anyway, maybe we'll do a console.log total SID. Console.log total SID. Nope, still no good. Maybe it needs to be, oh yeah, because we're already doing these return statements. Let's put it right here. Okay, there it is. So let's put 335.41. 335.41. Closed. Change this. Awesome. Let's put $400. Insufficient funds. Change this. Although we know that it would just be 400, so you know what I mean. But whatever. We wouldn't. Anyway, whatever. No. We wouldn't. Huh? Oh yeah, it would never be $400 change. Anyway, whatever. So 0.5. So there we go. We know it works. Let's get rid of this one right here. Let's comment this out when we're at it, all right? So now we're done with the get change. So we're going to have to now turn this into something we can actually put on the internet, right? So let's do a const format change, and we're going to do that. We're going to say that equals change array. And remember, this change array is not this change array in here, because this change array in here is local, and this is also local, right? Neither of these are global, right? So what we're going to do here is we're just going to do a map on this change array parameter. So we'll say change array.map, change array.map. Okay. Let me console this out. Let me comment this out. There we go. We're going to do a change array.map. Okay. So we're going to be mapping over the change array that goes into this thing. And what we're going to say here is we're going to have, for the callback functions parameters, we're going to have a, what is this? An array. We know that the change array is going to have unit and amount from unit in it. So we're going to say unit right here and amount, because we're going to be using both of these, because we're going to be doing this right here. We're going to say quarter colon 0.5 cents. Okay. I mean 0.5, 50 cents. You know what it is. All right. So let's come over here and we're going to do an arrow, because we got the parameters right here, arrow. And then after that, we're going to do a template literal. Okay. So we're going to say return a template literal, and the template literal is going to be like this. We're going to have the unit here, colon, space, $, and then we're going to have the amount. So we'll have first the embedded expression for the unit. We'll say unit in here, and that's going to be this one, colon, space, $. This $, is this $, right here. This isn't the $, for the embedded expression. So this is the string $, embedded expression $. Let's bring this over a little more. And inside here, we're going to put amount like that. And so now we know that the map method, let's make sure we remember, map right here, always returns a new array. So we know that this is going to be an array. So we're going to have to join this thing together. So we'll say .join, and we'll join this by an empty, by spaces like this. So that it'll have dime, so that it'll have 10. It'll do this one right here. So this is the first one, joined by this space. This is the second one, joined by this space, and so on and so forth, right? So now that we've got that, let's cap that off with a semicolon. All right. So now we've got this function and we've got this function made. We know this one works. Let's make sure this one works. Let's say console.log. We'll do format change, and let's put something like this in there. Actually, let's get this whole thing. Let's get this whole array right here and throw it right here. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, look at that. So there we go. It looks like this: penny, nickel, dime, quarter. Although we don't need all those zeros, but we'll fix that up later. Do we need all those zeros? What's up with that? Oh, what's up with that? How do we get rid of those? Anyway, we'll do that later. Hopefully we'll do that later. Anyway, actually, I think it worked without doing that, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, we've got that. And now we're going to come back into this thing right here, the event listener, and we're going to plug those in. So we're going to start off down here on line 43. And what we'll say here is const change result equals, and we're going to call the get change function like this. on change do, on this change do right here, comma, and we'll put SID in there as the second parameter, as the second argument, I should say. All right, so now we've got that. Now we're going to do an if statement. We're going to do an if-else statement that's going to take care of this one first, this insufficient funds thing, and the close thing, and then we'll take care of the open thing, okay? So we'll say if inside of this, no, right down here. Hold on, let's move all these over real quick. Format this stuff real nice. All right. So we'll say if, what are we going to say? So change result dot status. Remember, we've got a dot. Remember, it's good. This thing always returns these objects. So we're going to say if change result dot status, if this thing dot status triple equals the insufficient funds string. So this one right here, or if, let's grab this again, copy that, drop this, and change this one to closed. Closed. So if it equals this or that, we're going to do something pretty similar, right? So we will do, what are we going to do? We're going to have insufficient, we're going to say insufficient funds. So we're going to do change.innerText like this. So we'll say change, change.innerText now equals. And what we're going to say here is a template literal, okay? So the first thing in the template literal is we're going to say status, colon, just like this, status open or status insufficient funds. So we'll say status, and then we'll do a embedded expression and an embedded expression. And we'll say status change result dot status in the first one. So we're going to target this one right here. So change result dot status, okay, which will give us this one or close depending. And then we're going to say space, or is it colon space? No, just space. Just space. Yeah, space. And we'll say after that, where are we? Right here. Space, another embedded expression. Come on. We'll do change result dot change. So we're going to be targeting this this value using this property. So change result dot change like that. So that will take care of it. If it's insufficient funds, it'll do this. And if it's change result, if it's closed, it'll do this one right here, which will give us the cache in drawer, right? Like that. All right. So now that we've got that one taken care of, we're going to do an else if. Else if. And this is for when it's open, when we actually are going to give change. So for this one, we're going to do this. Let's say, let's say let change text equal. And what we're going to do here is we'll have the template literal. We'll do this. What's wrong with this? Oh, const? What's wrong with this? Anyway, let's grab this right here and change it up a little bit. So we'll grab this, toss it in here. All right. What's wrong with this? Anyway, we'll fix this in a little bit. What's wrong with this? We'll figure that out in a little bit. Let change text equal status, and we're going to change it to open right here because it's going to be open no matter what. So we'll say open like this. We don't need the quotes. We'll just say open. And right here inside of this, yeah, we'll still do change result dot change. What's wrong with change text, bro? Else if, oh, it's not an else if, it's just an else. That's what, boom, changed. Very nice. All right. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to say change. No. We're going to say change dot inner text now equals, and we'll say change text. And I don't remember if we have to trim it or not. So let's get the console.log. Let's change this up. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We're done right here. So let's say $20 sale. Quarter open. Yeah, okay. That's terrible. Change text. Do we got to do .trim? $20. No, what the hell? What's wrong? Something's got to be wrong. All right, well, something didn't work right, so we're gonna have to fix something. That's not right. Yeah, that's not right. Customer paid with the exact cash. Why is this not working? All right, so I'm going to do the little thing to say, oh, look at this. We got to return here. Return. Let's see. Still no good. Okay. I'm going to have to check this out, and I'll be back in a second. It'll do one of those sometime later things. Okay, I forgot. All right, so yeah, we're back into this thing right here. It's not change result.change. It's format change result.change. So we got to wrap this thing up in parentheses. Format change at change result.change. All right, so now let's put a $20 bill in there. Come on. No, that's not. Format change. Yeah, how about that? 20 again. Test it out. All right, great. Looks fantastic. So yeah, so now it looks like it's going to work fine. Let me see what happens when we don't put the trim on it, though. $20. Looks fine. Oh, is it 50? Hold on. Let me put the dot trim again. Dot trim. 20. Sale. Ah, it still doesn't do it. Whatever. Run the test. Come on. We're going to have to do it again. The little thing. All right. I've figured it out. All right. So down here on the amount, like right now, when we do this, it doesn't do 0.5. It's because we didn't do toFix2 after amount. Okay. So we're going to have to do dot toFixed dot toFixed 2. That way, no matter what, the amount's going to have 2 digits after the decimal point. Right. So now when we say $20 sale, we see quarter 50 cents like that. All right. So now let's run the test. Come on. Now what's the problem? All right. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. Okay, so now I see the error. Okay, so right now, let's change this up. Let's grab this array right here, and let's put it somewhere specific. Let's put it right here. All right, because this one's saying that there's only 50 cents worth of pennies in the till right now. Okay. So now let's do 20 sale. Yeah, so it gives us this array, right? So basically what I didn't do was we didn't run the format change on this change result either. So let's just grab this embedded expression, copy it, and then drop it off here like that, right? Now when we do 20, come on. Is this still, it's still not good. Well, I mean, it still looks like crap, but, because it shouldn't return this, right? I don't like that. So let's change it to, format change. All right. Insufficient funds. Status format change result dot change. Format change CID. Let's try that. CID. Still looks like crap. Why does it look so bad? I don't like that, but I don't know how to fix that. And format change, let's go back to this. It works. So, you know, we're at the point to where, yeah, it looks like crap, but at the same time, we're also finished. So, what should we do? Should we fix this? Or should we say it works? It's good enough for freeCodeCamp. We'll figure this out later when we're actually getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I think option B. So that's the end of that. And submit it. All right. So now we're done with the cash register project. We're going to be doing learn, fetch, and promises by building an FCC authors page next. And we'll see you next time.